How's it going, everybody? This is Platt Reviews, and today for our second episode we're going to talk about the newest album from the folk punk band AJJ. Good luck, everybody. AJJ is a folk punk band from Phoenix, Arizona. They've been active since 2004, and as of recording they have about 300,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. They are currently an independent band. They were formerly on the record label Side One Dummy until the release of Good Luck Everybody. Good Luck Everybody is their 7th studio album, but they have many different EPs and splits with so many different bands. AJJ is formerly known as Andrew Jackson Jihad, but they changed their name in 2016, 12 years after forming, claiming the name Jihad was disrespectful because they're not Muslim, and they no longer want to be a reminder of Andrew Jackson, who was the 7th President of the United States. I first started listening to AJJ in 2016 when I first heard their album People Who Eat People Are the Luckiest People in the World. I fell in love with the clever yet smart and dark songwriting that the band could offer, and it was something that I could get a lot of my friends into. We would always drive on our cars singing out the very clever lines of songs from Brave as a Noun and the Survival Song. This band really introduced me to the folk punk scene that I grew to love as I got older, but referencing these songs to my friends always meant a lot to me throughout high school. But honestly, I've struggled to get into anything outside of that album other than Can't Maintain, which I believe is a pretty good album. This may devalue my takes in this review as I'm not a diehard fan of this band, but I still will give my takes regardless, and hopefully you can respect that. Good Luck Everybody had 3 singles, the first being A Poem, which came out in 2019. It has a really nice groove, and it's a really good album opener. The song really sets the mood for the album, which is very, very anti-establishment throughout. This album is very much a middle finger to the man kind of album, and that's what you would expect from a band like AJJ. The second single is Mega Guillotine 2020, which came out in 2020. It's a very, very odd pick for a second single. It almost gives me the feeling it would work better as an interlude. But I also am very much a fan of the music video, which it really starts to set the mood of this album being very, very critical of the current President of the United States, Donald Trump, and the entire presidential decisions that he has made since 2016. The third single is Normalization Blues, and this is the closest thing on the album to an old school AJJ song. It's a very wildly strummed guitar and a very nice bass to back that up. And honestly, it's probably my favorite song on the entire album. AJJ primarily started their career as a quirky but dark folk punk band. Their songs were short, catchy, and to the point. Throughout the past 3 albums, though, AJJ has distanced themselves from that sound and gone in a much more of an experimental direction, and personally, I haven't very much been a fan of this change. Good Luck Everybody is the first time I've listened to a full-length album by them in a while, and although there are certain songs that I really enjoy like Normalization Blues and Psychic Warfare, which is created with a very orchestra-style production, there's a very melodic string section, a very prominent xylophone, and a lot of other outlandish instrumentation. AJJ is a band that thrives on the political atmosphere. They're very blunt and honest throughout the album with a displeasement of Donald Trump's presidential term. Lyrics criticizing Trump is scattered throughout this album, and the band is not afraid to stand against the current political landscape in the country. This album has a runtime of about 27 minutes, and that feels really short for an 11-track album. And personally, I feel like a lot of these songs feel incomplete. They feel like demos much more than a complete album, and that's something that I kind of struggle to get into. Especially a lot of repetition throughout this entire album. It's very weird knowing that they had 4 years to complete this album. I think AJJ as a whole tackled this weird experimentation to the folk punk genre very well. As a genre that struggles with all sounding the exact same among so many different artists, and it's a breath of fresh air to really see a band try new things in this genre. I think there's an interesting amount of introspection on this album as well, like in tracks like Maggie, which is a huge breath of fresh air compared to a lot of the other politically charged albums. And the closing track, A Big Day for Grimly, really feels like a nice wholesome way to end the album. And despite feeling angry with the political atmosphere that may be attacking our country right now, there's a feeling of hope that things will get better, hopefully someday. I feel an almost old school kind of classic pop rock feel on certain songs such as Your Voice As I Remember It. And this song is really one of my favorite songs on the album as well. It just kind of carries itself really well and just kind of floats around. It has a very floaty instrumental and it has a very soothing vocal delivery throughout. I also feel like that way on songs like No Justice, No Peace, No Hope, where it's a very nice soothing piano ballad throughout, and it's just nice to really listen to. There's a lot of pleasant listens here instrumentally and also vocally, but the lyrics are very difficult to take in because they're so critical of the political atmosphere, regardless of which side you are on politically. It's still a tough listen either way. This album won't hook old-time fans and bring them back, but it's very interesting to see how a band can mature and change their sound. Thanks for watching.